Ugh, how many times are we gonna listen to this song?
Why are you hating on me right now? They say great artists steal, but to me they sample. In music, producers have these sample libraries where they have a bunch of records from different eras and genres that they end up taking a pre-existing element from, like a drum loop or a melody, and then they manipulate that sample in a track of their own. Apart from the fact that that adds to the generativity of music, I just think it's incredible that they're essentially remixing a collection of references to make art that fits their own vision. But I don't think it's a music exclusive thing. In fact, I think we see it across all mediums. Like, what's the difference between MF Doom taking Sade's A Kiss of Life to make Doomsday, and Tarantino using Godard's dancing scene from Band Apart to make his own in Pulp Fiction? To me, there's none. It's more about what's the difference between how the greats sample and everyone else.
What are you doing?
The guy with the bushy eyebrows.
He did a lot of coke in the 70s. You know?
I just wonder how I should sample Scorsese and Coppola and Gordon Willis and Serraro and all the other artists that I have yet to find that will eventually inspire me. And above all, how can I use it to find a style that's unique to my own vision?
It's kind of like all crooked though, you know? Like...
Alright, let's get something straight. This video is not about dick riding. I'm a big fan of the world around me and an even bigger fan of all the artists who've created worlds that really inspire me. And I want to use their art to make mine better, but I want to do it in a way that really respects them. So when my homie put me on Austin Kleon's book, How to Steal Like an Artist, I found that. But I also found 6 easy ways to steal his entire book for YouTube video. So today I've decided to compile those steps and actually put it to practice in a photo shoot. For starters, Cleon asked us to steal from multiple artists, so I chose to steal from my 2 biggest inspirations, Christopher Doyle and Robert Richardson. Doyle is a very poetic DP, and he's a big reason as to why my favorite film ever was created, Fallen Angels, when he worked with Wong Kar-wai. Doyle's known for lighting with neon, because it allowed him to have a very diverse color palette, but on top of that, when he paired it with low-key lighting, it created the visual drama that we see in a lot of his films. And it's not really a surprise when he cited movies like Vertigo and Suspiria that really inspired him. I was studying on him, which is the next thing that Cleon asked us to do, and I found this thesis that was written about him with some tools that I'd actually like to sample today. Doyle loves using softening filtration in front of the lens, because what it does is that it blooms the highlights and softens the skin tones. So I'm gonna use the Schneider Classic Soft to try to employ this. There's also the scene in the Mood for Love where Maggie Chen is lit by this yellow Oklahoma 767 filter to contrast that purple background and the purple that's falling on Tony Lu's hair. I'll be using that as my key light, and I'm gonna be alternating with the Soft Amber 2 gel, which is what I think Richardson used to light the hotel scenes in Natural Born Killers, and in some of JFK also. What I love most about Robert Richardson is what most people like, and that's that signature overexposed toppy backlight that almost all of his characters have. It's this very stage-like feel, and I just love it, but it's really defined by the fact that he can keep it so narrow, yet so diffused. And for somebody who's so well known for his diffusion and that type of light, I cannot find the actual filtration that he uses. So I'm thinking that it's probably heavy ProMist filtration or nylon in front of the lens. Both Doyle and Richardson use color as it pertains to their narrative. But from a stills point of view, I see it as a way to add these sort of chromatic zones to add depth within my own images. It's kind of like dividing the frame based off of what color is there. On top of that, I'm really excited to see how the color actually ends up changing the psychology of my images. I think I'm doing enough with this photo shoot to really make it feel transformative, to make it feel like we're remixing these elements that aren't actually ours and then making them into our own idea. Even though these colors aren't mine, they will be. So I'm gonna get everything set up and then we'll go from there. Oh fuck. You know, I've blinded myself so many times with this fucking controller, bro. Oh shit. Will you look down just a little? Yeah, actually, yeah, keep that with your eyes closed. I like that. Let's do that. Hold that, hold that. This, yeah, the yellow one. It's gonna change the color temperature to 46. We'll probably have to take off this eye light because I can't match it, so we'll just go from there. Yo, I got these bitches imported from the UK. What the hell? I'm dead ass, yeah. But I only paid 15 bucks for them, but still though, I thought that was some fancy shit. I was feeling myself. Actually, yeah, look down. Shit, I don't know. I want to use all this space. Actually, can we do one sitting? Fuck yes, I got it. I fucking got it, yeah. It's supposed to be like this. Or it's like there's a halo around you.
Oh my god.
See what I'm saying? Like a fucking...
Oh, for
It
sure.
looks like auras.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Bro, this light is... Yeah, I don't know. This gel, I just love the I don't know. It just feels good. It just feels good. Honest to God, it just feels good. It feels right. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's easy working with y'all, bro.
Good. I'm glad that you like it.
You're welcome. Sometimes you're like, God damn, bro, it's tense in the room. Like,
Yeah, I don't like that shit, bro.
like, damn, it feels straight like work. You know?
I don't like that.
But,
I feel like you should come here to express yourself.
exactly.
And I don't really know how you can do that if it's with people you don't like. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna take off the softbox off of the aperture and just put on the actual hard bulb. And I want to boom it over him, but I want it to be very toppy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. I want it to be very toppy and to try to get it to fall just onto his shoulders, like right here, so that the light doesn't actually hit his face here. And then I'm gonna use that as a key, and then we'll use that blue as the back.
So just leave that one then.
Yeah, that can stay.
Okay. So
Yeah. Like a fucking T, like fucking Tony Soprano.
I feel like I'm getting, what are those rooms?
Like you're in interrogation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what.
Can you look straight on me first? I just need to see where these shadows fall. All right, can you move the chair this way? Stay where you're at. I'm gonna move this.
Dude, Duran, bro.
Yes. Okay, this is my last photo. I wanna do something cool. Cool as fuck, but I don't know. We look up towards the light?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to fucking eat though. Yeah, damn. I'm ready.
Get some wing coop.
These are the 13 images that I like the most, right? My goal is to create this horizontal gradient across the back, going from blue to purple, but not letting those colors spill onto the actual subject. With this first look, I really love the softness of these images. I really think that classic soft 1/2 is kind of a go-to for me. Specifically with the skin tones, that 767 Oklahoma filter is mwah. I fucking love it. I love it. I feel like it's the right amount of yellow and orange, and I can still see the differentiation between the color of his skin and the color of the shirt. So I feel like that adds another element to it. And then, right, with this second look, I really like the fact that toppy backlight just created a really great gradient because it was the only light that was there, and it was really just going from light to dark, but it looks like we're going from white to black. For this type of Richardson look that I was going for though, I don't really think that I executed it correctly, and I think that's especially due to the fact that he uses way heavier diffusion. Overall, I would say this is a pretty great sample. But of course, there's always that nagging voice in my head. And when I look at a lot of these images, I can't help but just wonder, do I feel like these images still move me? Do I feel like they're important? Do I feel like they achieve what I wanted to achieve if they were in black and white? And I think for right now, frankly, no. But when I look at the work of primarily color dominant photographers like Alex Webb and William Eggleston, I can't help but feel that that's not the same for their work. And I think that their work is still great even without the color. And I think it's because the way that they express their narratives always places a very heavy emphasis on the environment itself. And yeah, I know I shot it in the studio, so maybe the comparison isn't apt, but I do think that if I can somehow achieve that within studio, it will elevate it beyond just the fact that the colors look pretty. Like this very famous photo from Alex Webb. If I were to black and white this photo, it still looks great, but for different reasons. You have this girl who's very clearly in love. She's very happy. She's leaning on her man's shoulder. The guy with the book doesn't really stand out to me, but it forces me to redirect my eye to the middle. It's the guy holding his daughter, or what we perceive to be his daughter because they're in shadow. But even then, you start looking at the way that the light cuts them out, and that circle just feels so unnatural. It feels like it was almost placed there. It's like this spotlight effect. And it's very clear to me that this entire photo feels like it's about love. This very famous photo from William Eggleston, the back of the lady's head, right? Even though I'm not seeing her face, I can just imagine what she looks like just by the way that she dresses herself, just by the way she holds her cigarette, just by the way that the texture of her hair folds in, the little diamonds in it. To me, it's very obvious that two photographers like this use color as a way to accept and embrace the world around them, but on top of that, they use it as a tool to enhance their photographic eye and augment that same environment. In other words, they chose to use color as their preferred tool of sampling their environment. And this starts to touch on the topic that I feel Austin Kleon doesn't really talk about in his book. And it's not how to steal, but why. To me, when I look at art, I can't help but think that it's the way an individual chose to sample their environment. No matter whether you choose to photograph, paint, write, or design, although the end product of it ends up being a unique form of expression that's specific to the individual, the idea of it, the roots of it, no matter how big or how small, are always in the environment that raised it. And I have yet to find something that teaches me that lesson better than imitating art does. Chances are, if you're anything like me, you grew up trying to recreate the things that you saw in TV shows and in films. And each step of the way, you're slowly reminded that your world is not like the director's. In my case, I'll never be in Hong Kong in the 90s, but it's the fact that I've tried to imitate it that's forced me to embrace my own narrative. That's shown me that I should appreciate how the artists before me sampled their world, but to admit that artistically, I'm simply trying to do the same for my own.
It's been so long
Oh, that looks
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
since someone
Because of me, though.
could make me cry. And I wonder